Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast, Bells and Bloodshed. I'm one of your hosts, Lindsey.
I'm Bailey. Welcome back, guys. Week 2 coming at you strong. Today we're going to be reviewing over your case that you picked out for this week, which is
I picked the case of Elisa Lam. If y'all know anything about it or have heard of it, it sparked an internet frenzy, and it also came with a lot of conspiracy theories behind it. So
how scary.
we are going to go over that and just talk about the details and maybe even put in our opinion of what we think happened.
So I'm very opinionated. But yeah, Bells and Bloodshed, we're coming at you strong with true crime, ghost stories, possibly going on some paranormal hunts of our own around here, and urban legends and all that entails. But yeah, we're coming at you strong this week, and we are doing a new segment starting now and entering into the new episodes called Sweet Tea Time. Let's get excited for that. So we're just gonna review over this next couple, like last week, of anything new and exciting that happened. I'll start with mine. Not really anything new. I went floral shopping for my wedding flowers. I'm thinking colorful, bright, airy. Enough with the whites and the greens. Bye. They're gone. I'm thinking color. It's a June wedding. Why not go big or go home? So, and with Lindsay sitting right beside me, she's my lovely matron of honor. Couldn't have done it without her and her expertise helping plan stuff behind the scenes. I know she loves all the attention over here.
I sure do.
But yeah, that was it. I'm also educating the youth of America, and that in itself is tiresome. But yeah, nothing much happened to me. But I know something happened to you this morning. But
yeah, thank you for calling me out. So, my driving habits caught up with me today, and I had a tire blowout, and the bolts on the tire were in fact corroded. So we had to get a cordless drill to really get after it.
Insert pick here.
Yeah, insert pick. I do have a new tire now, so we're good on that front. And also, last week I feel like I was very vague in my job description. And just for future stories, I will say I work in campus safety for a college, and I work for and through the police department, so I do still work very closely with them. I felt like I needed to elaborate more. So, with that being said, please remember every Sunday we post our episode at 1 p.m. You can find that on YouTube and Spotify. If you feel inclined, we would love for you to subscribe. We also have accounts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. So check that out, and the link would be in our description.
And if you want to, email us a story that you want us to cover. We love getting any stories, and even if you have your own story that you want to share, paranormal, we would love to hear more about it. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay, so this week I chose Elisa Lam's case. It sparked a lot of social media frenzy, a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a Netflix documentary behind it. I have not watched it. I do not remember the name of it.
We need to do that one night.
We do. That would be really fun. The sources I used for this week are biography.com, autopsyfiles.org, U.S. News. I did Me Time for the Mind for some of the conspiracy theories, and Ranker for some of the conspiracy theories. But let's begin. So let's start off with, who was Elisa Lam? Elisa Lam was born on April 30th in 1991. She was a 21-year-old university student from Vancouver, British Columbia, which is in Canada, by the way. She was active on, different social media platforms in the beginning. I think she was really into blogging on Blogspot, and then she switched over to Tumblr. So this is like,
oh Lord, that's forever ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is
do they even have Tumblr anymore?
I don't know. This was 2013.
Comment below if they even have Tumblr.
Anymore. Do you have Tumblr? Do we know? But during her social media posting, she had made posts about struggles with mental illness.
Okay, yeah.
That was just something that she always had an issue with. She had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, and that comes in later, of course. But she had medication prescribed to her for this, and it was quite a few different medications. But she did have medication that was prescribed, it was hers. It was legal to take, all that wonderful stuff. She was a solo traveler. She
Mm.
was traveling along the coast of California. She was using public transportation, which is kind of scary as a
Not, I
solo
would be using that today.
woman. Yeah, but she was maintaining daily contact with her parents.
Okay, that's her being
So I
safe.
mean that's good. Like she's letting them know where she's at. It seems if she is going on a trip and she's
Hmm.
making the effort to continuously speak with her parents, and
Hmm.
I would assume she has a decent
Do you
relationship
know if
with
they
them.
like? I know. I hope they would have like a share like location thing, but they probably didn't have that back
Not in
then, did they?
2013. This was
No.
before Life 360.
Oh yeah, so that probably was not
It was either
helpful.
before or before it was like used all the time. Unfortunately, she did not get to finish her travels, but I think it's still important to remember her and talk about her, and we're gonna try to do this in the most respectful manner we possibly can.
Hmm.
So, where did this take place? So, on January 26, 2013, Elisa checked into the Cecil Hotel, also known as the Stay on Main. They renamed it.
Are they? So it's not the Cecil anymore. It's stay on Main.
They still have like the sign up. Like it still says
Okay.
it's the Cecil Hotel,
Hmm.
but they, I guess, maybe renamed it like online or put another sign up because people kept getting killed there. So I guess people were worried about staying there. But this hotel has got a reputation. Let's just say that.
Good reputation, bad
Not a good
reputation.
one,
Oh.
girl. Not a good one. So, like literally throughout history since it's been open, all like it had so many unnatural and accidental deaths. People have committed suicide in an alarming amount.
Oh
Like people just
gosh.
like in all kinds of various ways. But like jumping off the roof, there's been a lot of people jump off the roof, which is
Okay.
really odd.
No, that's
I
awful.
mean, that's a lot going on in this one place.
Hmm.
It's also like a hot spot for crime. So like prostitutes was a big thing there. Like there's always some kind of prostitution activity taking place. Drugs, etc. I mean, just normal sketchy
Hmm.
criminal behavior, I guess. But to add on to this beautiful, colorful history, in the 1980s,
Hmm.
Richard Ramirez, a serial killer also known as the Night Stalker, stayed there.
No.
No, listen. He stayed there for a few weeks, and
Hmm.
apparently during this stay, killed 14 people, 14 women, 14
No.
in a few weeks. That is crazy. Like
Mm-mm.
that's enough for me to be like, I don't know about that. It gets better. After that, in 1991, another serial killer. His name is Jack Unterweger.
Is this just a hot spot for serial killers right
Apparently,
now?
his name's Jack Unterweger, and he's from Austria, so I don't know if I said that right. I
Hmm.
probably didn't. But he also stayed at the hotel and apparently strangled at least 3 prostitutes in this time. Which, okay, people say that he was trying to be like a copycat of Richard Ramirez.
Always got to be a copycat. Always
Yeah.
has to be one.
I mean, you gotta be original.
Hmm.
You
Not
know,
original.
there are so many people out there that are trying to like base what they do off of other people, and at the end of the
Get
day,
original,
they
guys.
don't get you nowhere.
No.
Not a place. But on top of all that beautiful history
Yeah, it's
there,
really beautiful.
guess where it's at? Do you know what Skid Row is in Los
Mm.
Angeles?
It's like on like the bad part of Skid, like just really
Girl,
bad
yes, it's a
part.
bad part. So Skid Row
It's not
is
like
about 50 blocks, and it has a population of about 4,000 homeless people.
no.
Which listen, I understand there are things like that cause people to be homeless, and
Hmm.
that some of it is like really sad and everything. But sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's just like there's a lot of drug use and stuff going on,
Hmm.
and people. It's not a safe area. I mean,
So let's just say we don't need to go to Skid Row.
yeah, I'm sympathetic to what's going on over there, but I
Hmm.
probably don't want to put myself there.
No.
I've actually have put myself there though one time. I mean, I drove through it like when I was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I rolled the window down just because I was like, I bet it smells bad, and
Did
it
it?
smelled like straight up pee pee, like in the air. I was like, I am inhaling someone's pee pee right
This
now.
is awful.
Yeah,
Kind of makes me want to go and
it
look
was.
at it.
I mean, you could tell. Like, I mean, it was sad, but it was
Hmm.
also very scary. Like, it would not have been a place that I would have stayed anywhere near.
Yeah.
Even if I had was traveling with a group.
Mm-mm.
It just so
I mean, the history's there, but there are a lot more safer areas for you
yeah,
to go
the
to.
area is bad too.
Hmm.
So you got folks being killed and dying, and then you got all that going on, and it's just not a good place. So my point is, if I
Hmm.
was a young girl traveling alone,
That would not be my place.
That would not be my top choice. But she was from Canada though.
Yeah.
And this is, it's 2013, so there's definitely information on the internet. But then again, I feel like there's a lot more of like available information as far as like hotel reviews now. But
there's
still,
a lot more now that you can look and research and call a friend, go on TikTok, go on Instagram,
yeah, exactly.
Yelp, anything, and they'll be like, great hotel, 10 out of 10, or
This
0 out
place
of 10.
was
This
spooky.
place was awful. Don't stay here. In all caps, 1 star review.
Exactly. And also too, like apparently it was a budget friendly option, and like she's a solo traveler, so like I get it, but still. But anyways, on January 26, 2013, she originally checked into this hotel. She got a shared room, so it was like one of those places where you could get like shared rooms, people you don't know,
which doing that.
Explains why people keep getting killed. I mean, you can't. Didn't your mama ever teach you, don't be hanging out with strangers? But, oof, I could not do that. Like, from a safety standpoint, I could not stay in the shared room with people I don't know.
And from an only child standpoint, like, the worst thing is sharing a room. Unless, I don't like doing that. Like, I'll just have my own room to myself. Thank you.
I will say that crisis was averted because she did get moved to a private room.
Okay, well, why'd she get moved?
Because her roommates, they complained about her because they said she had some odd behaviors.
Okay.
She was leaving notes that said, like, go home, go away. And over here saying she would lock the door and make them, like, give a password to get in. What's the password? Like, girl.
Open sesame.
Bless her heart. In. She did. I mean, she obviously, like, was going through some mental struggles, and I hate that. But, I mean, I completely get it. If I was the roommate and this, grown woman was, what's the password? I'd be like, Miss Girl.
Miss who?
Like, we're both paying for this room. But, she apparently had some odd behavior, and then she went on to her private room. It was all good after that. But then, like 5 days later, on the 31st of January, this is the day that she was, supposed to check out. She had still been talking to her parents. Everything seemed fine. And she was scheduled to check out the hotel. But then she didn't check out. And like I said, she had some erratic behavior. So the hotel staff reported it, that she didn't check out. And also, her parents didn't hear from her either.
Yeah.
And of course, if my parents would freak out if they didn't hear from me if I was by myself in Los Angeles.
Well, had she had gone like a long period of time without talking to her parents, or has this been like?
I mean, she had been talking to them like every day.
Every day, okay.
Like at least a text or a phone call. Like, hey, I'm still alive. I'm sorry, that was kind of like I feel like that was insensitive.
Yeah, but like, hey, like I'm here, I'm checking in with you.
Yeah. But her parents, after not hearing from her parents did call LAPD to do like welfare check, and they obviously didn't find her this day. But the hotel staff who saw Elisa on this day said that she was alone, displaying erratic behavior. But there was a bookstore owner there was a bookstore right by the Cecil Hotel, or either at the bottom of it. And her name was Katie Orphan, and she basically said that she saw Elisa this day, and she was very outgoing and very friendly, and they discussed books that she was getting home to take to her family as gifts, or books she was getting to take home to her family. So, I mean, obviously, that shows, like, she had the intent. They're coming. No, I'm just kidding. But that obviously shows, like, she had the intent to go home. And which that'll come in later. But
yeah.
So, her parents fly down because she's missing. They can't find her. Which, I mean, my parents would fly down too, I would hope. Yours would for sure.
100%. Like 24 hours. Oh, we don't hear from her. Bye. We're gonna go. They're gonna become like Liam Neeson in that movie Taken.
Yes. Literally. But I will say the LAPD did not have like any probable cause of foul play, so they could not legally search every room in the hotel. However, they did they couldn't search like everybody's private room.
Yeah, I get it.
But they searched like all the common areas, the roof, her room, elevators, like outside, all that. So they did what they could, and they did bring in dogs. So I mean, the effort was there.
Yeah.
Or so it seems, but the dogs couldn't get her scent.
If
Like,
she'd been there, why couldn't
that's
they
what I'm
get her
saying.
sent?
Like, they could not get her sent. So, they couldn't search without probable cause. I think I just said that. But dogs can get her sent, and that comes in later too, which is crazy to me. But it's a week after this. A week goes by that she has not been found. LAPD decides, okay, well, at this point, maybe we need to get, like, help from the public. So they post up some flyers with a picture of her face. I think they posted on the internet and just, like, posted up around the neighborhood. And it's been a week. That's what they do. Which, hey, that's great. I mean, and they were doing their own investigations, like, but that's what they did for public approach. But then it's another week. So it's been 2 weeks,
God.
no sign of Elisa.
Those poor parents.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's so sad.
Like,
I mean, I couldn't imagine. But at this point, this is where this case gets, like, wild, because this is what made everybody go crazy. But they issued the footage of her last known sighting, which is the famous, like, elevator video, basically. Have you seen it?
I vaguely remember it. I think I saw it like 6 years ago, and it's her like just pacing and her peering around the corner.
I wrote down all of it. So I'm gonna tell you all about this video.
Okay, do tell. Go ahead.
But this footage is, like, literally, it had, like, hundreds of thousands of views in, like, a span of minutes. So I mean, it went viral fast. But it's 2.5 minutes long, which it was doctored. Like, they had to take out several parts of the footage in which people were, like, coming in and off the elevators, just because they didn't have any relation to the case. And a lot of people online are, like, freaking out because the elevator doors never closed, but they did close, I'm sure. It's just they took out people coming in and out. So keep that in mind. But this is 2.5 minutes of her on the elevator on January 31st. So this is the last day she was ever seen. In the video, she's acting very odd, very erratic. She's making, like, weird, odd movements and gestures, and she's, like, muttering to herself. But she comes in the elevator, bends down, and she's clicking the buttons. But, like, the way she's doing it at first is, like, very slow and methodical. Like, she's only clicking certain ones. Like, it's not, like Elf, how he just clicks all of them. That's not what she did. Like, she sat there and she bent down and she was eyeing them buttons and making sure that she was clicking the right ones. So, I mean, it was like she was trying to, like, follow a pattern, or just maybe she didn't like odd numbers. I don't know. But, she clicks the buttons, she stands in the elevator normal, and then after that, she, like, all of a sudden, she, like, jumps out to look in the hall. She's like, like, she's, like, it looks like her head's on a swivel, and she's, like, very frantic and very, very hasteful. And so, like, to me, it looks like she's trying to look in the hall, but she don't want anybody to see that she's looking in the hall.
Yeah.
Like, that's
kind of like a...
Not even like that. It was like she was scared the way she did. She was like,
gosh.
Like that. Beautiful head movement there, but yeah. So that's what she did. Then she, like, goes back in the elevator and, like, hides in the corner. Like, gets, like, into a little...
But there's no one in there with her. It's just her.
No, there's no one in there with her. But, keep in mind, in the video, the door doesn't close, but you can go back and, like, watch the timestamps and see when it was doctored, so I'm sure it closes during those events. But she's standing there in the corner, and then, like, after that, she's in the corner, she, like, goes to, like, the door frame of the elevator, and she, like, leans on the frame. Like how you would have a normal, casual conversation at your door frame. But then she does, like, a little weird jump movement into the hall, and then she does, like, a little square dance. I'm not kidding. Like, she, like, steps to the left and then steps to the right. But, like, and then steps back. And then steps back into the hallway.
I don't remember that.
No, but but she never turned her head, like, or her body. Like,
that's weird.
Like, if you're walking and you turn, you're gonna, like, turn your body. But, like, it was like it looked like it was purposefully rhythmic. So,
odd.
I don't know. But it gets, like, really odd after that, because she, after her little square dance in the hallway, she, like, steps back into the hallway, and she kind of goes out of the camera frame, so you can only see her, like, her arm. It's like, here's the elevator door, here's her arm. You can see that, and you can see that her arm's moving. That's all you can see, but then she gets back in. But then, after that, she goes back into the hallway. Well, after that, she presses more buttons in the same manner that she did earlier, but this time she was like concerned. And she was very hasteful in the way that she did it. And like when she came back in the elevator, her hands were on top of her head like this. And her face just looked stressed. Like she looked scared and stressed. And she was clicking the buttons in the same odd manner, but she was doing it a lot quicker. Like she was like, I gotta get out of here, wherever she was going, I guess. But then after that, she goes back in the hallway and she is like freaking out. Like she's moving her arms up and down, yelling. Like you can clearly see her mouth is moving. She's talking to somebody. Now, keep in mind, she had some mental health problems or mental health struggles. I don't want to say they're problems; they're just they're struggles. And her parents mentioned that she did have some incidents throughout the years with hallucination.
Wait, what?
Her parents mentioned that she had incidents in which she hallucinated.
Oh, hallucinated. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So that could have happened even around then.
But then again, she could have been talking to somebody that wasn't in the camera view, too.
Yeah, that's true.
And, like, they cut out people, so we don't know if anybody got on the elevator with her. We have no idea.
Plus, it's 2013, so they didn't. I guess there wasn't any cameras in the hallway or anything, or was there?
Well, there was. That's the thing, but there's not any public footage at least, which is interesting. But
like, why don't we get that footage?
maybe there wasn't any footage from that showed anything. I don't know.
Who knows?
But then again, they still don't know how she got on the roof. Did I say? Wait. I'm getting ahead of myself, you silly girl. Anyways, but she was talking to somebody. I don't know whom she was talking to. I don't know if it was somebody in the hall. It could have been a creation of her own mind, but she was talking to somebody. I don't know who. It might not have been somebody we could see, but it was somebody she saw. So that's the last that's seen of her. And of course, people were like, what in the world was that?
So they last saw her January 31st.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 3 weeks after that.
Oh, 3 weeks later.
She's been missing 3 weeks. Okay, February 19th. Anybody like in the criminal justice field would pretty much tell you the likelihood of her being alive is very low. Like pretty much the only statistical opportunity that she's alive at this point is if she just went off the grid and is like living in the mountains or something. Because I mean, at this point, it's just very, very low opportunity. So, in this 3-week period, guests at the hotel started making complaints about the water. They started complaining that the water pressure was low and that the water was discolored and had a bad taste. Here's the thing, too. This is a hotel where people consistently die. There are prostitutes apparently in and out all the time. And it's, basically a hostel. So, to me, this is not the kind of hotel that would, jump on, oh, we've got low water pressure. Like, it would take them a while to investigate that. Yeah. So, I would think that the complaints had to get pretty severe for them to really look into the water. But, alas, they did look into the water pressure. And on their roof, they have 4 1,000 gallon water tanks. They're about 8 feet tall, and then they're on like cinder blocks. But there's 4. So they send a guy to go up there and look. And guess what?
What?
She's in one of the tanks.
Oh no.
Here's the thing though. She was naked in the tank, face up. There's no ladder to get into this. There's a metal hatch that you have to open to get into the tank as well. So, this tank, with it being on cinder blocks, is probably 10 feet tall. And she's a small woman. She's like a size small. She's not a big girl. I don't know how she got up there.
No, that doesn't seem logical.
And there's a large metal hatch that apparently the lid is quite heavy.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense how she got in there.
Yeah. It's just...
I'm dumbfounded right now.
That's part of the reason that people are like, what in the world's going on? You don't have to believe in Bigfoot to be like, something's odd about this.
Yeah. Something was odd about that. And I think I vaguely remember seeing like the news. I think 2013, I was 13. I vaguely remember that case, and I'm like, oh my god, that's terrible.
It really is terrible, but I think the worst thing is that we just don't know what happened.
Yeah. Like, even today, it's 2025, and even then, how many years? I'm not good at math. Caden, how many years?
Like 12 years.
12 years.
I'm a genius. Wow, I just
Good
did
for
that. I really did.
Really did that.
But, they found her body, and so they had to drain the water tank, but then they had to cut it open because like the hatch was too small for them to get the appropriate equipment to properly remove her body. Listen to this.
I'm scared.
The last time she was seen was January 31st.
Mm-hmm.
She had been in that water tank for at least several days, which we'll get more into like the physical conditions. Hear me out.
What?
At least several days, probably the entirety of the 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. During this 3 weeks, her Tumblr account had been updated, and her phone was not with her body.
Wait a minute. I didn't know this.
Here's the thing. So, now that you know that,
no,
I got a hold of her autopsy.
Oh my gosh, tell me.
They released, part of it 2 days after her body was found. So they found her on February 19th, and they released part of it on the 21st. So the Los Angeles coroner's office issued a little bit of their findings, and they ruled her cause of death as accidental drowning.
No, I don't believe that.
And they also said that mental conditions, specifically bipolar disorder, was a large factor. They did say no foul play was suspected.
I don't believe that either. But
they said it wasn't suicide, and they did not see an intent to self-harm. But then again, they also said that, bipolar disorder was a factor. So I don't know, kind of contradictory.
That is very contradictory. I don't like that.
Which then again, with her parents had said she had experienced hallucinations. So I mean, it's possible that she maybe thought that she was hiding or running from something.
How in the world could she have gotten in that
That's
water
what I'm
tower?
saying.
That doesn't make any sense.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
They did not release the full coroner's report until June. Here's the thing, though. If it's an accidental death and there's no foul play suspected, why did it take that long? Basically, she was found she was found floating in the water, face up. Her clothes were in the water, but they weren't on her. Keep in mind, when you drown, you bloat. So it wouldn't have made her clothes slip off.
Yeah, it wouldn't have done that.
I mean, she might have taken them off. But
it seems logical, though.
Her clothes were also coated in a sand-like particulate.
What?
I mean, Los Angeles does have a beach.
Yeah, but... Okay, well, you tell me about her Tumblr account being active for a couple of days. So, do we have any...
It was basically just posts, like, in updates. I think you could make, like, status updates and stuff like that. That's what it was. Some people have said that there is a feature on Tumblr that will do automatic updates. But why would she have set her Tumblr account to do automatic updates for 3 weeks?
Yeah,
is that not weird? So, and she had her room key and her watch with her, but not her phone. That was making Tumblr updates. And if her phone was dead, well, I guess Tumblr social media, but I don't know. It's a lot of unanswered questions.
I had a Tumblr. It was very confusing. I got rid of it like almost immediately. I did not
I think I had it for about 2 hours myself.
Yeah. After that, I was like, bye.
I felt like it was an off-brand Pinterest.
Yeah, and I still don't really use Pinterest to this day. I was a big Viner. I enjoyed Vine. Can we bring back Vine, please? I love TikTok, but I do miss just watching 6-second videos and not a minute and 30-second long video.
I deleted TikTok because I did not think it was going to come back.
Yeah, that was your fault on that.
And now I don't have it, and everyone else does.
Yeah, I send you videos, and I'm like, oh wait, she doesn't. Yeah, she can't send it.
I don't have it. But okay, I should probably say a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about details of her decomposition and sexual assault. So
there's that.
Yeah, autopsy.
I did not know that.
I got the autopsy.
Okay.
So when they found her body had started decomposing. She was bloated, which drowning. Greenish colored. She had some marbling, which is when your veins become visible due to the bacteria in your blood and decomposition. She also had, passed through rigor mortis. So, like, that's when you get stiff,
Yeah.
But then when you're not stiff no more. Like, it's how they tell you how long you've been dead. And then livor mortis, the pooling of blood after death was fixed. Like, it had taken place and was there. And it's usually, like, gravity affected. But here's the thing. They obviously figured out she had been dead for, a little bit. They found black mold on her body. Black mold. I hate mold. That is my worst nightmare.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so she had been in that water tank long enough for mold to grow on her.
Oh,
that
God.
is a nightmare. But they claim no evidence of trauma, no evidence of self-inflicted harm, no evidence of an intent to self-harm, and no evidence of foul play. But I read the autopsy. I read these specific results. And there was pooling of blood in Elisa's anal area, and she had a prolapsed rectum, which is, I know.
That's awful.
I know. But that could be evidence of sexual abuse. But they just, I don't know, it was an accidental thing. And they were very firm in that. And here's the thing. They did a rape and a fingernail kit, but the results were never processed. Why would you not process the results? So, we have no way of knowing what the results
parents are thinking right now.
Probably not happy about it. Here's the thing. They also did a toxicology. Toxicology reports did not show any illegal or recreational drugs, but there were traces of a very small amount of alcohol in her system. I don't think it was enough to raise any concerns, but then again, it had been a while. You never know. And she was taking, prescription medicine for mental issues or mental disorders. So it could have, caused something. She also had prescription drugs, consistent with the ones that were prescribed to her in her system, and there was like a trace of sinus medicine and Advil, which I got traces of that in me right now probably. So investigators were not fully convinced that she wasn't under the influence though of psychedelic or illicit drugs. They suggest that it either could have been broken down during decomposition, so that don't make no sense. But they also say that she could have taken something that didn't show up on the toxicology report. That is very, very possible.
No, I didn't
Here's
know
the thing, though. The thing about saying that they broke down is so dumb because they said that her prescription drugs, like the traces that were in her system, suggested that she had been taking less, like under medicating, or had stopped taking her medicine. So you're saying there was no trace of illicit drugs, but there could have been some that she took, but there was a trace of prescription drugs, but she wasn't taking enough. Now, they did say that she could have been taking her prescriptions, but not her stabilizers.
Yeah.
I don't know enough details about that to get all that out, but they did say that. I don't see how she could have under-medicated so severely to the point that it was causing her hallucinations. But I don't know, like, the severity of how her mental health was, so. It could have been a thing.
Could have been way worse.
Then again, though, if she is having, like, these kind of hallucinations, I think that, maybe she has schizophrenia, like, maybe there's more, diagnoses that they haven't explored. I don't know. I will say mental health has come a long way since 2013.
It really has.
But we still don't know how she ended up in the water tank. This is, I guess, an assessment of what that was. We don't know how she ended up in the water tank. According to the hotel, the doors and the stairs that access the roof are locked, only accessible to employees, and any attempt to force them would trigger an alarm. Keep in mind, the dogs went on the roof, did not get her scent. She could have taken the fire escape, according to, some people, but dogs still didn't get her scent. The water tanks are about 8 feet tall, propped up on cylinder blocks, and have very heavy lids on the hatch. I think I told you about that earlier. The hotel employees claimed that they had to use a ladder to even look into the tanks. There was no fixed ladder, and there was no, there was not any form of fixed access. There wasn't any stairs, ladder, anything like that, where she could have just scurried on up there. So, there shouldn't have been any way for her to get in there. All this being the way it is, it's caused a lot of theories and speculation. This is kind of an interesting part, and some of them are very far-fetched. So, The logical explanation is that Elisa either used psychedelic drugs that did not show in the toxicology report or had been taking her medicine but not in the right quantity, not in the right amount, didn't take her stabilizers, and it led to a mental health crisis that, caused her to have hallucinations or psychosis, made her believe that, she was unsafe, someone was following her, and caused her to hide in the water tank for safety. It still doesn't explain the evidence of sexual abuse, the state of undress, and the inability for LAPD dog to get her scent.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some conspiracy theories. So there is a logical explanation, but with the circumstances of the Cecil Hotel, the unnerving footage, and the unexplained things of this story, many people have different theories. So
Mm-hmm.
we can start off with supernatural because
Okay.
I know that's what you're interested in.
Yes, give me all the supernatural. What are we thinking?
So a lot of people believe like the logical explanation, but they also believe that on top of the logical explanation, the dark history of the hotel has either resulted or caused some form of supernatural evil to, reside in the hotel.
Could be,
And the
yeah.
hotel has seen an unnatural amount of death. It does seem to
Mm-hmm.
attract crime,
Yeah.
and her mental state could have made her vulnerable to, demonic entities
Mm-hmm.
or, just evil supernatural things.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I get that. If there's a demon and you got a girl with mental health problems, then it
Mm-hmm.
is possible that they might would target her or
Mm-hmm.
find her vulnerable.
I see that as a possibility.
So I mean, I feel like of all the supernatural ones, that one does make
Mm-hmm.
the most
Yeah,
sense.
because why is there so much death involved around that
I mean,
hotel?
yeah, it is crazy that there are so many events like that are just very far fetched.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that theory.
also,
Mm-hmm.
also people that have tourists that have been guests or near the hotel have claimed that they felt sick, had like unnerving or paranormal experiences. So
Mm.
this is
Yeah.
not just people just saying that. Like there are people who have said that they felt something different.
Yeah.
Some believe that the ghost of some of the serial killers that had stayed there beforehand had something to do with her death. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I feel like that's kind of specific though. Another popular theory, and you probably have heard this, is that Elisa was trying to play the elevator game.
I've heard that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. So the elevator game is a supernatural game and originated in Korea. To play the game, you press specific buttons in order to get to a parallel universe. Apparently, like some point during the game, a demon woman is supposed to get on the elevator in the game. Can't talk to her, can't look at her. She apparently is gonna try to attack you if you do.
Mm.
I mean, that sounds terrifying. It sounds awful. But at the end of the game, you get to explore an alternate dimension. That also sounds terrifying. But some people, curiosity killed the cat. That's what they say. But knowing, the entirety of the footage is not available
Mm-hmm.
and the irregularity of how Elisa was pushing the buttons, many believe that she was attempting to participate in the elevator game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's non supernatural. And
Okay.
you're probably thinking, these probably aren't crazy. They are.
Oh.
So, a lot of people like to, jump to, oh, evil. But
Mm-hmm.
some people are like, oh, government. Okay?
Government.
So, one theory stems from this is not a government one, but one theory stems from one of her Tumblr posts. She claimed that there is a creeper at the hotel that she wanted to avoid. And the elevator footage was edited, so there's no way to see, who all was walking in the halls or came in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she was found naked without her phone, and regardless of the pathologist's claims, I feel like some attributes of her autopsy did, you know, support otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do the rape kit results, which is really, really odd.
Mm-hmm.
And her Tumblr account made posts after her death almost as though someone wanted people to think that she was still alive.
Yeah, I could see that a lot.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next theory,
Okay.
I didn't go into detail with it because I just can't. But it's a theory that the government was using the hotel to test technology that makes people invisible.
No.
And Eliza was apparently involved with it.
I'll
And it's
ignore that
actually
one.
like a company, like a specific company name. I cannot remember.
Oh, do tell.
I think it was like the invisible light theory. I can't remember.
No.
But apparently Eliza was involved with it. And I try to be open minded. I really did.
Yeah.
I did.
Wow.
But you should look up the people that believe this. Because I read this theory on, the Ranker source. But I did try to look into it on Reddit. And I saw a couple of people that posted about it. And it was like in comments of other people's comments. Like it wasn't just posts. And these people, they're like, the government is coming for us all. Like there's some of those. Like they're definitely doomsday preppers. So I couldn't be open minded with that one, even though I did try. Here's the last speculation.
Okay.
So Elisa was purposely infected with tuberculosis and sent into Skid Row to thin out the homeless population.
What?
Days after her body was discovered, a tuberculosis outbreak did go through Skid Row and parts of the Cecil Hotel.
Okay.
And it does kind of get a little crazy here. So they had the tuberculosis outbreak, and then the TB test used in this area that was pretty popular is called Lam Elisa for short. Like that's the initials of it. Her name's Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
And it spelled her name.
That's weird.
So that is kind of crazy. And a common antibiotic for tuberculosis is called, I'm gonna try, isoniazid. That's wrong, but you can look it up.
You tried.
But it does have side effects of confusion and abnormal behavior.
Okay.
So that does make sense with the elevator stuff. And her toxicology screening did not find anything like this, but they also didn't process all of her, testing either.
I wish they would actually do more research with this stuff. I get it, 2013, but do your job.
Well, that's another thing. People think that the government's covering up that they're trying to thin out the homeless population, and that's why they didn't do advanced testing. Here's the thing, though. Her college, she went to the University of British Columbia in Canada, and they have a very, very well-known tuberculosis research center. Which I really don't think that's anything.
But still, it's something interesting that was there.
I mean, people go to great lengths to put all this together. So.
The invisible theory.
I think y'all should comment what y'all think happened to Elisa. And you know what? If you have far-fetched ideas, just go crazy with it. Let us know.
I'm pro supernatural. I mean, with how many deaths there were, that's just an insane amount. Something could be pushing them to do something. You never know.
I agree.
But with the case being presented like it was, I think maybe could have stopped taking her medicine, something like that, or just elevator game could be another theory. We don't know. We'll never really find out. And if we do, I'll be first one listening in, and I'm going to be excited to hear more about it because it just leaves you with more question marks. It's not really accidental drowning. No, I don't believe that.
Well, they said that there wasn't water in her lungs, but I mean, she had been there for a while, so it could have got out. It could have. I mean, she's decomposing. It's still odd. It's still odd. I think that's the thing about this case is there probably is a super, super logical explanation. But at the end of the day, when you don't maintain transparency with the public, this is what happens. We got invisibility cloaks from the government.
Can I get one? Like in Harry Potter?
What is it called? The
I don't know, but
remember.
No, my fiance.
I remember the map of mischief or the Marauders map,
something like that.
I solemnly swear I am up to no good.
My fiance made me watch all of Harry Potter. I think sometime last year. I'd only watched the first movie, and now he wants me to watch Lord of the Rings. And I
love Harry Potter.
For that,
Master has given Dobby a sock. Oh, speaking of Lord of the Rings, real quick, this is a Middle Earth blanket.
What's Middle Earth?
It is the map of the area in which the Lord of the Rings took place. This is my husband's. I got this for him for Christmas. But he likes my blanket that I got for Christmas better.
Oh my god.
So now I use it. But anyways, I
really enjoyed it. I'm excited for that was a good case to cover. Next one we'll be covering is Lacey and Scott Peterson. If you've heard about it, you probably have. It's been all over Netflix. The reason I've only heard about it was through Netflix. Me and Mom were watching the case, and I just found it super interesting. And she had heard about it, and I was like, "How have you heard about it before I've heard about it?" So I'm excited to dive into that one with you. But yeah, comment below more things you want to see and hear from us. Give us an email. It's bells and bloodshed at gmail.com. There we
It's
go.
also in the description if you're
Yeah.
a little confused.
Yeah.
And please tell us what you think happened to Elisa.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, she was a young woman who lost her life.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to respect her and,
Tell
you
her
know,
story.
tell her story.
Yep.
So,
Like
thank
and
y'all.
subscribe, guys. Thank you. See
Yes.
you next time.
Bye.